The agenda any?
What time did we open?
6:03.
Okay, thank you.
Now I don't know if I can say this, but I think we need to table number 7.
Yeah. Once for tabling. I make a is there anything else? I think everything else.
Unless you want to move 6 up.
We can, well, we'll move it up ahead of financial after number 4.
Well, can we move it up
no,
before
because
4?
she needs to stay, because we need to be able to tell her what's wrong with the accounts too, or
I
unless
think she just.
Oh, she
is there
just
anything
did?
else? It's just in regards to bank statements and viewing.
Yeah, I just want it on the record so we know what got changed. So if she could say that under accounts payable and financial, because the budget's another line down, so it shouldn't take that long under accounts payable financial.
Yeah, okay. So I move that we table discussion vote on reforming the budget ad hoc committee.
And can we just note that that's due to not having enough board members present to vote on that?
Yes. Okay. Any public comments? No public tonight. Manager's report.
Alright. The only thing I got is just an A. I don't have a report other than A, if you want to move to that.
Okay.
So another application for a water service at 3416 Texas Trail. We can provide water.
Great. Director Sherman.
Just a quick question, is that all 6-inch? Main?
Yeah, it's on Texas Trail, so
Okay.
it should be just fine right there.
Okay.
Do I hear a motion? Director Sherman.
I'll move that we approve the application for water service installation for lot 19, block 41, tract 1, 3416 Texas Trail, Fraser Park, APN 260-103-11-00.
Do I hear a second?
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
401.
And that's all I got.
Okay. Administrative assistant report.
The only thing I have is last month's meeting, or the regular July meeting, live stream. I went on the application and they had changed the way they do the live streaming format. And literally as I was leaving town. And I didn't have time to figure out how to redo the system before the meeting. So we recorded it, but it recorded in 2 parts for whatever reason. Part 2, it took almost 20 hours to get it to upload onto the internet. And part 1, I still haven't been able to get it to upload. Plus, when I try to do that, it completely clogs our entire system, so nobody can access the internet while I'm uploading. So it's much easier if I could just live stream it direct. But it's back. I learned the new system and it's live streaming tonight, so that's why we're missing a meeting on there.
So when it live streams, it uploads automatically.
As it goes, it uploads and it works better. But if I have to upload it after the fact, it's something like 4 gigabytes and it takes
Forever.
Okay.
forever if it uploads.
Okay, and it's probably in 2 parts because we took a 10-minute recess.
And we turned it off at that time?
I don't know why it went in 2 parts, but however it happened. Part
Maybe
2,
when
I
we-
got
maybe when we took the break and she shut it
It
off.
could have been. Something happened where it stopped and restarted. So. That's it.
Okay. Accounts payable and financial information. Linda.
Okay, so we had 6 checks that went out. On Beeline, we actually finally used up the credit balance they had, so the check we wrote was net the credit balance. Also, there is $810 for the postal service for a special mailing that's going out.
For the
Other
CCR.
than that, the others are normal, what we have. All the general, last meeting you asked if all the funds have been returned to the general fund. I checked and they have been. Also, the new Connect deposit, I reviewed that and all of those were reclassed to the new connection income, which you will see that on the budget. That budget, proposed budget, is including everything through June 30th. So, including that adjustment based on last.
$1,985.77.
Correct, it was $16,200 that still need to be transferred over to the, new connection income and out of the deposit account. Cause all the deposit money that was in there was, the latest one was December 2017. Then I just talked to Sherry, let her know about the one account that we haven't been able to get the statements mailed to us, and then the other two accounts where I haven't been able to see them online. So, so she'll take care of those.
Could I ask a question in regards to the statements that you cannot see online? Assistant Administrator, I'm not sure, Lisa,
Yeah.
did you assign her those accounts? Because you have to go in and entitle her to see those accounts.
I'm not sure, so that might be, but the issue was more the statement that's not printing out, right? And the names of the accounts, cause I can change it, but I can't change the name on the statements, so the names on the statements are also wrong.
Yeah, there was a couple of those which,
Okay, so you would.
So we had gone through those with you
Yeah.
before, but they never got changed.
I thought we were all
It's-
okay after that, but I'd be happy to.
It's on, the correct names are,
Because that was.
yeah, I can put her, I probably haven't put her on the, I need to go on there.
And in regards to the statement that's not getting, that you're not receiving a statement for at all, you're still able to view it online.
I'm able to view it online.
You just don't have a paper statement.
Right.
And if you could please provide me with the months you need, I'd be happy to do that.
Let me, I can go online right now and check and see.
No, you can't because they're doing the meeting.
Oh, I can't.
So you can jump on another.
I'll check after the meeting.
Oh, you can? Or at
If
break
you want.
time?
All I need is for,
No.
for now.
You can jump on another tab, it's not gonna interrupt you.
July 1, 2017 to current.
Are you sure, even if I clear the,
Is it,
I'll do it after the meeting.
Okay.
Okay, just for that one account.
yeah,
Sure.
thank you.
I can't remember if I did that or not. I think I did.
And then, we also, I'm so happy to get the email from the auditors. They're already starting requesting stuff for the new year. So, I'll be working on those starting next week, putting that together. There's some things that I'll need to get information from, like Tiffany or Johnny, but a lot of it's for me to get.
I have an issue here. The Brennan Pacific Incorporated,
Yeah.
that should be 888.08. You're paying 905.84 because it says the 905.84 is paid after 808.18 invoice total. And this is the 26th of July. You wanna take a look at this?
Yeah, that can be, because I don't
Thank
like
you, I didn't
invoice.
catch that.
It says paid on or prior to 8/8, it should be 888. So, no, you
Then
can,
I didn't notice that one before.
So let's make note for the, recording the minutes that we're voiding that check. What's that check number? Or are you
13302.
13302 and rewriting the check for the correct amount?
Right.
For Brennan, what is it?
Brennan,
Brent Tag Pacific. I can recut this check tonight, so it
Okay.
can be signed before I leave.
okay, great.
So what was the
Approve the
amount
amount.
written for in
The correct amount would be 888.08. Okay. So I'll cut that before I leave.
Can I ask a question? On the state compensation insurance, why, cause this bill says, base premium, 1,160.50. What, I mean, every month, aren't we making a check out, to them for quite a bit more?
No, actually it was less, but they just increased it after the audit due to our increase in payroll.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Due to our increase in payroll, we should have a decrease in payroll.
Well, they compared it from last year.
Cause last year we had,
We
4
have
guys in
one
the
less
field, now we
employee.
have 3.
Yeah, but what they did is the audit from the previous year, and then we did our projections based on last year around May 31st, June 30th. So then since then, we hired somebody and terminated, and somebody left. So, and then there were increases. So when they did the audit this time, there was a difference. And so then they increased it based on the difference.
Wasn't much, was it?
No,
No.
So you're saying they decreased it and this increase is after the decrease for one less employee?
correct.
Okay.
Do I hear a motion to pay our bills?
You wanna do it?
I make a motion that we pay our bills.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 400. 401. Okay. Discussion and vote on presentation by California Bank and Trust automatic check processing.
This partner, our treasury management officer of each chowdery, that I would like in on the call in case there's technical questions that you might have.
Okay.
So if that's all right, we tried just a minute ago and it seemed to work just fine, so here's the.
Oh, the 949?
Yes.
Okay.
So, let's go to the first one.
Busy? I don't think it'll work like that.
Did you dial 9 and then 1?
Yeah. Alright, so you should be able to touch.
Treasury Management, Naveed speaking.
Hello, Avi, it's Sherry.
Hi, Sherry.
It's our turn. So in addition to the directors, we have the general manager and their clerk of the board. And we have one member of the audience, which is their accountant bookkeeper. So thank you, board of directors, for having myself and Avid. Avid is my treasury management partner. He's our product expert on remote deposit. So that's what we're here to discuss. Lisa, I believe you and I had chatted prior, maybe last year, about remote deposit and some of the efficiencies that it could bring to the operations of making deposits, specifically check deposits. It's not for cash, it's only for check deposits. Looking at your activity, the district deposits approximately 600 to 700 checks per month, which is a lot. So when you think about the time involved of making a deposit, writing the checks down, or making adding machine tape, to what you do, maybe save you a little time and money. We're offering a promotion right now, so it's an excellent opportunity to save some money on the cost of the equipment, and we're offering you a very, very heavily reduced price. I gave everyone a copy that's here. The proposal So if you all could take a moment and look in the blue folder that I gave you. So if I could just start with how remote deposit works. There is a scanner that makes a digital copy of each check that is scanned. And that check is then sent to a print site near the Federal Reserve Bank of where that check is from. So it speeds up the time that the check works, how all the checks that are brought in by our customers are processed this way, in this manner. Because you have such a high volume of checks, the scanner that you would need is a more robust scanner, so it can handle larger quantities of items, and you're not doing a single feed, so you're not just putting in one check at a time. You can put in the hopper. I mean, what is the larger hopper? I think it's at least 25 to 50.
Items.
Yeah, your batch can be 100 batches, but what's the recommended amount per
So
scan?
75 on here.
You can actually put 100, so we actually have a scanner that feeds up to 100 documents per minute. So the hopper can actually contain 100 checks, and you can just scan those all in 1 minute.
So it's
Nice.
pretty rapid, and I don't know, are you making the deposits, Tiffany?
Cassandra.
Sandra.
Do you have your person making the deposits making photocopies of the checks?
No.
No.
Okay, that's good. But what this will also allow you is the record keeping of those checks. Just pull it up.
So
Yeah.
we can actually see the actual copy.
You can actually see the actual check itself.
Now, is that information stored on your website or on our computer?
Abhi, you want to take that one?
Yeah, absolutely. That's actually going to be stored in our database. So that's something you can log into our system, and we'd actually have it stored in our database. So we'll not take up any of your data or any of your memory.
Good, I just wanted to make sure somebody wasn't gonna steal our computer and have everybody's check
Check's
information.
right.
Oh, no, absolutely not. Yeah, this is very secure as well. So it actually requires a user to log in through the system in order to access that information.
And how long is that held for?
7 years in the system.
And Linda,
Is there a way for us to download it in our system, so if something happens, or, if we leave your bank, which is not anticipated, but we would still be able to have access to that?
Like I said, we can't download it though because we can't retain it here. And if somebody comes in and they steal our computers, they have all the information on them.
is there
Those copies would actually remain in the system itself. So if you don't have access to, if you were, for example, needed to pull up a check copy from a few years ago and you no longer have the service, you actually then contact our customer service team and we can pull it up that way for you. But while you have the service, you do have that capability of pulling up those documents yourself.
For 7 years.
Up to 7 years, yes.
Now, how do we know when let's say you have 50 checks and you put it in the scanner and it scans, how do you know that it captured all 50 checks, that there wasn't a overlap or something like that?
Abhi?
As soon as you finish scanning the checks, you're actually prompted to review those items within the system. So you'll actually go into the system and look into the items that you had just scanned. And before you close out that deposit, it actually, it prompts you to review each item and make sure that the dollar amount is correct, that the information that's inputted was correct. And then if there's any issues, you'd actually be alerted for any exception items or any type of scanning problems.
And it gives you
So
the
you're
full
actually
number of
provided
checks.
information before you approve the deposit.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, it
provides
adds it up too?
it adds it up. Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to make sure we have.
Ours works if it detects duplicates, or not, well, it detects duplicates too, but it also detects whether you have piggybacked an item.
Right.
So it'll kick it out and it'll say, there's a problem with this one, you need to go back and rescan it.
Okay.
So, good questions. If you look at the pricing that's provided in the folder as well, the proposal is on your right-hand side. So what I did was I kind of gave you an idea of the activity. So that first section where it says basic deposit services. This is off of your June's statement. That shows all the activity that would transpire. And this also shows that if we were to charge our standard rate for those services, that's what you would be paying, but we don't charge. So you see it's waived. So it says waived under the $370.55. So the monthly maintenance fee that is being proposed is $30 per month for this service. If you have any deposit corrections, they're $5. What that means is if somebody's check bounces or there's an error, Ivy, is that the $5 deposit correction? Is that if there's an error on that deposit itself?
If there was like a misencoding error, if the deposit was actually this dollar amount, but it was actually written for a different legal amount. So those would be the type of corrections that you would face. It's very rare that those happen because you have the ability to make the corrections right then and there before you approve the deposit. So.
Okay, very good, thank you. And if you look down to where it says the remote deposit scanner, the standard pricing is $750. We are offering a $300 credit for that. There is also an optional advanced exchange 3-year warranty for $200, which is a really great value because if something happens to your scanner within 3 years, we provide a replacement at no charge with the purchase of that extended warranty. So you're looking at roughly $30 a month for having this at your fingertips to make and scan your checks. And you'd still have to come, I think you come maybe twice a week to the bank. It would allow you to deposit here up to, is it 7:30? 7:30 during the day to get same day credit? Is that correct?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
To get same day credit for the deposit, you can scan as late as 7:30?
Correct. So you receive same day credit if you made those deposits before 7:30 p.m. Absolutely.
So you're not open then, but you could if you had
Right.
a need to do
Well, she
so.
usually does it
Yeah.
before she leaves anyways at the end of the day.
So if you were to, when you receive your mail, do you receive checks every day for bills, for payments?
Yeah, but it's made towards the end of the billing period, towards the 20th, we get a lot
Right.
at that time, so.
So you could scan you could just batch one check if you wanted to. If that was all the payments you received in the day's mail, you can scan that so you're not having to wait till you collect however many to make a deposit.
Oh, that's perfect, so then at the end of the day, you just process them when you're.
And it's
Right.
one standard fee, there's not like the number of batches or anything like that.
Deal of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, and with the discount for the equipment, it's I think a very nice offer for you guys.
So that waiver of the basic deposit service amounts is continuous, that's not like a 6-month or
Oh, I
1 year.
apologize. Yeah, that's our promotion.
The basic deposit services like per check, so that's never
It's
gonna happen.
correct.
Okay, so it would basically be $30 per month and then a one-time fee of anywhere from $450 to $650.
Correct.
And then that
Yeah, the one-time fee, for the scanner, $450 for the scanner, and then if you decide to choose the advanced exchange, so that'd be that one-time charge. After that, it's just $30 a month just to have the service, because we're giving you a robust online access that has all kinds of reporting available to you. So you're just not scanning deposits and getting the deposit credit to your account. You actually have that system itself that allows you to do reporting, so you can actually create CSV files and import that into your accounting software if necessary. So that's where that $30 comes into play.
And I'd like to just to mention that again with what you just said, the CVS file. I don't know, that might be something that you would want to explore with that to your customers' invoices or account numbers, so that you could just pair that up with your receivables. So that's part of this program that you can add. Whether you choose to do so, that's up to you. So are there any other questions that you might have?
Yeah,
Yes,
the
Lisa.
phone training is just a one-time, or once we're kind of going, are we able to, is it a cost for, if we have questions, technical support, is there a cost for that?
There's no cost for that. If you needed on-site training, there's an additional cost of $100 for that. But if you needed to call us for any customer service help, we're here for you. And then, of course, Sherry, she can always contact us on your behalf. She can always give me a call, and then we'll get the right individuals involved. So we're always here for you. That one-time training is pretty extensive. We tell you how to make your first deposit, how to prepare the deposit, how to use the scanner, how to install into your system. So that's that training aspect of it. But once you get the familiar of it, it's really easy. And if there's any troubleshooting issues, we're always here for you to help you out.
Talked to Sherry about this originally. I really liked the idea of being able to, we were just doing a lot of things at that point, so I didn't feel like we were ready to make that many changes. But I like the idea of it scanning the checks so that because we're not doing that, and it's just one more sort of backup thing that's happening for the price for $30. That seems like you know, just to scan all those things would take at least that much in human power to, you know.
Absolutely, yeah,
So-
and the time involved with that, if you can imagine the time to just prepare a deposit, that's reduced tremendously.
And then we just have to come with cash deposits, that's it.
Right, so if you wanted to do that just once a week or whatever you.
How often are we doing the cash deposit? the
Depends
full
on how much we
deposits?
have, you know, like I said, closer to the $300 or $400, and we got the new safe, it's not a big deal anymore. We could hold it until we get to go in. Cause it would take a lot to get that safe out.
There's one thing I'm gonna about is the report that we get from the computer system showing the set.
Are you talking about RVS?
Correct. So I'm just kind of thinking out loud. I think I can make it work. Just make the cash transaction a separate transaction, and the two together will equal the total of that deposit for the day.
Yeah.
I think we can make it work that way. And
Yeah, and you'll still receive basically a batched receipt that itemizes the checks that are included in that batch,
So-
paper-wise, if you want that.
Yeah, so basically it would be like what she does by hand, because she has to write down every check anyway and account for it
Wow.
before she does the deposit, correct?
Yeah, and that takes a long time because
So-
especially when people.
Yeah, so that time is eliminated because you no longer have to do that because it's automatically logging all the check number and the details of the check for you. So that task is completely eliminated. You're saving anywhere from 30 minutes to maybe even an hour just by doing that.
And another question just quickly, when it puts the checks in, is there a way to, is there like a keyword lookup?
So that our training team will actually guide you through the process on how to search for an item. So there's certain criteria, for example, the check number, or if it's within a certain batch, or a dollar amount. So there's search criteria within the application.
Okay.
And if you have other questions that we've not addressed here, by all means, we can get Avit on the phone. As a matter of fact, we'll just leave you his phone number if you'd like to give him a call. He's super knowledgeable. Be happy to chat with you guys at any time.
The only reason I wasn't for it last time was simply because of the cost, the initial cost. We hadn't done rate increases yet, and
Yeah.
we didn't have the money. But now since the cost is reduced so much, I think it's a good idea.
Sherry said this, yeah, she mentioned this was a great opportunity for you guys to take advantage. I mean, we have that discount. It's a great opportunity to take advantage of such a great scanner at such a low price right now. So, and it's yours. You're not leasing the scanner from us, so it's completely yours to own. Right? So.
And no contract. You're not locked into a year, 2 years, or whatever. If you find 6 months down the road it's not working for you, you can cancel it. So, I think
Dr. Schroeder.
Well, no, I like to move.
Oh,
if
wait.
we're-
Linda, do you have a question?
I just wanted to make a
because
comment.
the discussion should happen after the move.
The comment is I was with a company that we were the first ones to ever use this system. We did it for City National.
Oh.
And we saw a great advantage of doing it, and it made a huge difference in the speed on being able to get deposits done, and also the accuracy of the deposits. We weren't getting any more corrections to deposits or anything once we had
There you
this
go.
system in place.
Oh, that's great, yeah, that's a great comment. Yeah, it reduces those corrections and the headache involved with that. So yeah, it's a win-win no matter how you use this product.
Yeah, we can have pros and cons after my motion, so I'd like to
Okay,
make
Director
my motion.
Schoenberg.
Okay, so I'd like to move that we go ahead and purchase the automatic check processing and the service, and adopt the service. I would like to do it with. So if you are seconding my motion, I'm making a motion based on also including the warranty for 3 years. So it would be a $30 a month plus $650 initially.
I second that.
Okay. I'm confused. Okay, this is,
So the motion,
the motion is,
so any discussion?
You can do discussion.
well, that's what, you seconded, so I guess I gotta,
No, you can do this.
for us to buy this thing, is gonna be what?
$300.
No, you get a $300 credit.
Credit, so it's $450.
$450 for the scanner and then $200 for the exchange warranty.
So it's $650 total.
And then the $30 a month,
Correct,
After 6 months.
correct.
okay? So then.
$30 after 6 months?
Yeah.
After 6 months,
It's
they're
waived.
waiving the first 6 months.
Yep.
Okay, so then the only thing that'll be going out on after the initial trial period, I guess, is the $30 a month.
Right.
Yes,
That's correct.
right. After we paid the $650, then it's our scanner, and we have a warranty on that, and then it's $30.
And maybe the
a month.
once in a while $5 if there's something messed up about it.
Yeah,
but
there's gonna be $5 charges probably for.
Yeah, because
at least
people-
so you get the learning curve down.
Yeah.
Of what you gotta do.
The most common thing what David had mentioned in regards to that is if someone writes you, their bill is say $150 and they write the numeric amount 150, but the written amount is 100.
This happened.
Yeah.
Okay,
Fairly
so
often.
you might see something like that. That would cause a $5 fee.
And I think the human factor of people, if it's automatically deposited, you know, so many of Fraser Park people will write us a check counting on the fact that it's not going to go to the bank until tomorrow. But if it's same day, you know, I think we might get a couple of those
Absolutely.
Bounce.
Yeah.
bounce checks
But then
and
we
that's
said-
But
$5
that's a
charge.
learning curve for them, because they know that they shouldn't be writing a check they don't have.
Well, we
paid.
charge.
But you know, I think it's a learning curve, and we'll just have to let people know. Listen, we've got a new system, and this is going to be.
And we charged the bounce check fee already. So they're.
Yeah, because
they would cover
feasibly the checks will be clearing over. Well, they will be if their CB&T checks are going to clear overnight. So the customer walks in the door, pays the bill, you scan it. That's going to clear their account that night, and it goes right into your account.
We'll just put a notice up too and.
I was
And
gonna
besides,
say,
most people
with
are
our-
aware today
with
that
our-
when you write a check, if you go into the store and you write a check, it's taken out of your account information.
But I just know human nature because we do this with insurance, and I'm calling people about bounce checks all
Yes.
the time.
Yeah, on a side note, you would know the answer to this. If somebody writes a check and they write it out and they don't write the dollar amount in, what's the legal recourse for that? Are we supposed to write the dollar amount in there, or do we have to make them come down? Because normally I make them do it, come back down, but are you allowed to?
Legally, if they have the words, that is the legal amount of the check. So if
Okay.
they didn't write the numbers,
Somebody else had told me that too, and I thought that was.
and what you would do, what we would do is say, for example, their bill's $100, they wrote the words $100, you could write at the top of the check $100. That's what you've accepted it for, that's what you've received it for.
Oh,
You
okay,
don't
instead
fill
of in
in,
the
you don't
box.
fill in their box,
Oh,
that's,
okay.
yeah.
Good.
But
Good to know.
but if they don't have the words $100 in,
Correct.
you should have them come back.
I'd like to call the vote.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. 401.
Motion carried.
Okay, thank you very much, folks. And then, Avi, I will be chatting with you tomorrow about getting the paperwork back to these folks. So, thank you very much for your help on the phone. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, are you still there? No, we lose you. I
Wow.
lost him.
Maybe we should-
Hello?
He's like, hey, it's.
He is out of here.
Are you there? No. Are you there? No. Oh, we
No,
lost him.
definitely not now.
It's okay. We can just hang it up.
There we
And
go.
then Sherry, if there's an issue with me when I go on the computer, I guess I can I'll contact you by phone and. let
Sure,
you
regarding
know.
those two accounts that she's
Yeah,
able to
because
see.
all that stuff is in the
It's in the
resolution already.
entitlements, but as far as the titling, but
As far as the
yeah,
title.
two
Yeah,
separate
I
things.
know how to go in
So
the
if you could
entitlements.
let me know which
Sorry.
that are not in, that she only tell me the ones she cannot see online.
Linda, what are the ones that are written wrong on the statements? The two new ones, right? I believe it's just the two new, it's the, let me look at my,
It's the two new ones. I gave you that already.
Okay, that are titled incorrectly?
they're titled
Right.
incorrectly on the
And also, I
statement.
can't see them on.
Right, that I'll fix, but they're titled incorrectly on the statement. So it just has the number, it doesn't, or, you know, it has a weird name, it doesn't have a
In
correct name.
fact, Sherry, let me give you this.
Oh, it's so good.
Isn't it good?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that would
She
be awesome.
she has the resolution though.
I know, but this way she can just.
because I think they're not really allowed to do it without the resolution. I mean, you can refresh your memory from that, but.
Okay, you lost me.
Sherry has the resolution,
Yeah.
the names are correct on the resolution. Linda's going to refresh your memory, but you really, by the way that we do things, you need to go by the resolution, but you can look at the paper she's gonna give you as well.
Well, it just narrows down which one we write.
Yeah.
Because we have all your resolutions, but if you don't mind writing, that would be awesome.
So here's the list of the accounts. And these are the actual totals, correct totals.
Okay, so we don't know which ones, so they're not.
Is she staying for the budget?
I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
it's
there
those
is.
two, but to double
So I'll just
check.
double check everything, yeah,
Yeah.
not a problem. Okay, and then, will I be in touch with Johnny or Tiffany in regards to the contract, once we get it filled
Might as well
out?
contact Tiffany. Well, either or, if she's not here for some reason.
Okay,
call
and you're not
her.
here tomorrow, right? You guys are closed?
Yeah, we're closed tomorrow.
So I'll touch base, they'll give me a chance to get prepared tomorrow, and then I'll touch base with you on Monday.
Okay.
Okay, all right, thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Sherry.
it.
Appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
If
Yeah, be
there's
nice.
anything
Safe
that's
trip home.
different on that contract, we probably need to bring it before the board actually.
Yeah,
signs
whoever,
it.
well, you have to have someone authorized, obviously, on the board that can sign the contract.
Okay.
But it's actually not, again, when I say contract, it's just agreeing to the terms of how you have to handle
Right, because
this.
it's just a month.
Maybe you guys ought to go ahead and do a vote now that maybe the treasurer or whoever it may be, if it meets the criteria you voted on, that they could sign it? Or do we have to bring it back to the next?
So we probably need to look at it in a board meeting.
Makes
just
sense.
to
It's only
be-
2 weeks anyway, till then. Cool.
And Avit said to tell you, he's sorry, he hit the mute button, but he hung up.
Yeah.
He said to apologize, so he thanked you all for having
Yeah,
us.
that's fine.
Okay, thank you, good night, everyone.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Johnny, could we add a little blurb in the mailing that we're gonna be mailing out, that we're gonna have this new system?
What mailing? The CCR?
Mm-hmm.
It's already mailed.
Oh,
That's why I'd have the check signed in. And it wouldn't be like a newsletter anyway, it's
yeah, that's what we got here, right?
it's the annual water quality.
That's what this is,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
And then it's folded up like this.
But we can even put it on the website though.
Well,
Yes.
yeah, we'll just put it on the website, and we'll just, word of mouth, and
Yeah.
I mean, everybody knows if they're trying to float a check, they're taking a risk on floating the check, so
Yeah.
I ain't too worried about it.
That used to be the common way of doing business back 30 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure all of us have done that.
Yeah, we used to go to Safeway on like a Saturday and do all our grocery shopping. My dad would write a check and hope that it didn't hit till next week.
Yeah.
Okay, we tabled number 7, on to number 8. Discussion and vote on proposed budget for 2018-2019.
Okay, so I guess we can rapidly go line by line, but there's a couple of things that are not changed according to
Okay.
what we had proposed, so I need to bring those up as well when we get to those. I'm still going through this. so
There
if
was
you-
a couple, Lisa, that I changed because we got new information. They had to do with the medical insurance. We got new information where it was decreased. So I used the 117,000.
What, medical was decreased? What? Sorry, just kidding.
He knew, he's the one that gave me the information.
Yeah, we got rid of your medical.
Note on it.
Give it a second, I'm just scanning through this quickly to see which other ones are different.
Well, did you just wanna read it?
Yeah, I
I'm
will in
looking
one
up where I,
second.
which ones I did that, there's 2 of
Okay,
them.
okay, can you guys just be patient for 1 minute?
Sure.
No, the medical insurance, workers' comp insurance.
Okay.
They both went down.
Well, workers' comp went up, which you just saw.
Well, it looks like a kind of substantial increase, so I'm gonna have a question about that, but I really need a minute again. If you guys would entertain that.
You could always take a break right now too if you keep going.
I don't need that long, I'm almost
okay.
done. Just wanted to make sure because I don't wanna miss something as we're going through this.
Well, I'm gonna hit the restroom then quickly.
Okay. Okay. Okay, says Director Nyman comes back from the restroom. And Director Gibson comes back from
Well, wouldn't we also have to now see card, merchant credit card fees? We'll also have to put in this new scanner fee, right?
yeah,
Into
but
the proposed budget.
Yeah.
we may already, I mean, have that covered. I need to look at the amount when we get to that. So if you guys can remember that. So some of the numbers changed from our initial, when we were looking at this. But, and did you add up?
Well, she said she put it through June.
Yeah.
Right,
So
before
everything
that
is,
is through May.
so now it's the whole fiscal year is in there.
Correct.
So we can review that and see where we're at.
Okay, so I'm gonna start at the top. So water sales residential. So we had recommended 990,000 based on the initial year to date of 930,000. We actually took in 1
$1 million.
million 25, but it's not that different from our 990, and water sales go up and down, so I would say that we should go ahead and keep it at the 900,000, 990. I don't know
I
what
agree.
everyone else thinks about that.
Well, yeah, cause we'd rather have a smaller and make more than
Yeah.
have a shortfall.
Rather undershoot than
Right.
overshoot. Yeah.
Yes.
Then
Okay, so-
conservative.
And I want you to do this quickly or we'll be at it all night, so since the committee already went over, but I'm just gonna read the reasoning on each of these, and if you have an issue with it, then we'll try to address that. Okay, so on the water sales business, same idea, we went with 120,000 based on 118, we actually took in 127. That one's a fair amount more, but I think we can stay with our figure. How off were we? I didn't go to the bottom when we how far are we off on as far as?
304,000, and I put that would all go to the emergency fund,
Okay, 304,000 over.
No, we're 100,000
left over.
Okay, well when we get there, let's look at that. So let's go through this first, and then if we have an issue, we can go back and adjust. Okay, so water sales bulk is incorrect. It was actually supposed to be $100, not 10,000.
Oh, good.
I misread that.
I was wondering about that.
I misread it.
Because we really haven't had the amount of bulk water sales, and we may end up selling to Lake of the Woods, but so far this summer, we haven't. So I don't know if that's going to change. So okay, so that needs to be changed
to $100.
to $100. So late and other fees, we changed to 20,500, which she has, based on it. It actually was 21. I don't know if you want to make that go up, but again, that's a fluctuating amount that goes up and down. So I don't think. I think we should go lower
I think we're
rather
good.
than higher. Okay. Reconnection fees, 10,000 or yeah. Is that right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, 10,000. So that that's probably pretty close because even though we get a few of these new connections, which are they're not going into that now. This is reconnection. So reconnection is the same thing. It goes up and down. We took in 10,500, but I think we should keep it the same. Or the committee thought we should keep it the same. The ad hoc.
I agree.
Okay, so credit card fee income. So right now we have that as 4,500. We spent 47. That we may want to adjust because I think we're spending more than more and more on the credit card. So I don't know. That's income that's coming in, so we get.
That's
income.
what we charge our customers.
Yeah. But again, I guess it really depends on who pays by credit card. I think we should leave it the same, right, Broma?
Yeah, I think it's fine as it is.
Okay, so that's 4,500.
Just to bring to your attention, the amount that we pay in merchant fees is $5,056. The amount that we collected from the customers is $4,730.
So we're paying more than we're collecting.
Yeah, that's a problem.
About where is it?
And that's not even gonna
1,000.
include the new
About
scanner.
$300.
300? What is it? Where is it? 5? What
Okay, if
line's
you
that
look on
on?
second page, number 64110, merchant credit card fees, those are the amounts that we charged our customers. So the total was 5,057.
57.
And then what we collected in fees was $47.30, so about $350, $320.
I think that's the cost of doing business.
Yeah, and part of that is probably because
The special cards.
no,
that some people have.
yeah, and I would imagine that the 2% or whatever it is on the online a little bit too, as opposed to what we charge at the front counter. But still, it's so close that
It's probably the difference. We collect pretty much the credit card fee matching. I think the difference is the monthly fees. Like we're charged $20 to $30 a month just in the service for having the service from the bank, and I think that's the difference.
Okay.
I don't really want to see us raise because it's already what are we paying?
I think
$250 to come in and use the card.
I think that's good.
yeah, we want people to. I
to
would
use the
prefer
card,
checks
yeah.
and cards over cash. Anyway.
Exactly.
No, I think it's fine to leave it as it is.
Okay, new connection fees. So new connection fees, we brought in 26,000 and we proposed 600, but that's not a all the time thing. The reason why we proposed 600 is that would be 3 applications if no one actually followed through. And we
So-
tend to get applications without follow through, although this year we actually got follow through.
Right, so, I mean, we could, right at this point, since we just approved one,
Well,
we might wanna,
but we approve them all the time, and nobody comes with the money.
That's
Right.
what I'm saying.
Because
So-
a lot of people are trying to sell their lots, so they do the $200 so they can say, "Look, I'm gonna sell my lot," and they can provide water.
right,
But then they never come in and they never pay the connection fee. So
right,
I think 600 is fine
Okay.
because there's plenty of years we get none.
right.
Right, this was an unusual year where we actually had follow through on
Yeah.
because it's $8,000 if you have it's another
Right.
7,800 if
So
you
basically,
actually
they're just
follow
letting
through.
people know if they're buying the lot, that they can
Exactly.
provide water
Right.
service,
Yeah.
but they still have to pay the 8,000 if
For
they
the
come and
actual
build
service.
a house on
Yeah.
it or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
And isn't the $200 only for 6 months or something?
It's only good for
Yes.
6 months. So if somebody sells their lot and then a new owner comes in 7 months later, they have to pay an additional $200 to get you guys to approve it. So.
Okay, administrative fee income, we proposed 29,000, it was 29,800, so again, it's pretty close.
Yeah.
And what all does administrative fee income include,
Those
just so they know?
Yeah, that was on your financial report last week. It's the additional down based on what the auditors recommended. So all those miscellaneous fees that we charge the customers, those go in there.
But like,
Such as the bank check fees go in there.
Ownership transfer fees and stuff like that, does that go in there too?
Yes.
Yeah,
Those are all the
That's $50.
miscellaneous fees into one of
owner
them.
tenant directive, $35. all those things.
Vandalism, weird
Yeah,
stuff.
stuff like that.
Anything that doesn't fit under the other
Other
categories
categories.
that we have.
Mhm.
Okay, so then on the Kern County taxes, so we proposed 49, we made 48.8, because that changes also, that's an automatic payment from Kern County, we don't really have control over that. So that's just whatever the taxes are coming directly from Kern County. And then the standby assessment fee, we said 5,600, we took in 7,000, but that again goes up and down all the time, so it kind of really depends on who still has lots that are on standby, which is a $5 per year fee on each lot. So I
That's a
don't,
lot of lots.
yeah, so I don't know, Tiffany went through and fixed that at one point, you know, some lots were consolidated, anyway, she went through and purged and fixed all the weird stuff on there, so it's pretty, build on a lot, those lots go away. But I think at this point it's probably pretty close.
yeah, because it's been going steadily down.
Yeah, because it was, we changed it from, I mean, we went back through and double checked everything.
Okay, so
Okay, so delinquent assessments, we put $900, it was $780. 9 might be a little high, but basically these are the assessments after 6 months. If you haven't paid your, whatever your due is on your water bill, then it gets assessed to your taxes,
I'll just
so.
put it at 8.
Yeah, I think we should maybe put that down to 8.
We did bill more this year than last year. I mean, there's more delinquent accounts this year that went to tax roll than last year.
Oh, okay, so we should
So
just
it's
leave
just
Do
it.
you
another
remember
one
what the
they pay.
number actually is? Because what also happens is
Yeah,
they
'cause it's
drag
right
in, because if people don't pay them, then it's not gonna show up as stuff we collected during the year. So it keeps showing up on their taxes, so but if they didn't pay their taxes, then we may not get it.
Why was it so big in 2016, 17?
Just depending on who.
It
pays.
depends on who isn't paying, so somebody didn't pay a lot of money.
So this year for delinquent accounts, they submitted $2,423.
So it's pretty big, so I think we can leave it at 9 because we don't get it all every year, but we're asking for 2,000, so we only got 780, which is kind of sad. So, okay, so going on to the next category, 500 we did for the cashback savings. It's always going to be 500 because that's what we get. So that one shouldn't have to change. Interest reserve funds, that's pretty close, 130, 143, so that's probably okay, unless someone has an issue with it. Gain loss on sales of equipment, we didn't sell anything this year. We propose 0 next year because we may not be selling anything next year. Property lease rental income, we put 23,000, we made 23,133, but it's, again, that's a somewhat fixed amount. It might be a little bit more than that, but it's gonna be pretty fixed, so I think we can stick with the 23 that the ad hoc proposed. Grant income is 0, because we don't receive grant income right now. We may end up getting grant income for the Lake of the Woods stuff, but probably,
Or for the water meters,
Yeah, but again,
but we don't know.
I'm not sure that's gonna happen in
we don't know, so we're gonna
20
leave that at 0.
2019,
Yeah.
next year.
Prop 218 we left at 0 because we don't know when that Prop 218, and we should get a refund on that anyway, or have it free from RCAC?
yeah.
RCAC. Okay, USDA drought emergency grant not happening, pre-planning grant is over, planning grant we haven't gotten, we got 5,000, so we have 0 written down, but we have not gotten any more on that. I don't know if we're going to get more.
And that's kind of a wash anyway, because whatever money comes in
Goes
right
out,
for the
right.
project, so
Right.
it's not really part of the.
Right, material and supplies. So material and supplies, we had some questions on, but that everything got taken out of that category, sort of a cheat sheet for us, so we knew what was going to what categories. But for now, pretty much everything has been removed, so that's why it went from 18,000 or 35,000 to zero
Because it's in more exact.
those things have been put into more exact categories. So in that more exact categories, the pump power, we proposed 48, we spent 45, but pump power goes up and down. That's our electrical bill. So I think that's probably
I think it should
good.
stay there, yeah.
Yeah.
The uniforms, Matt's expense, we buy the uniforms and everything for everybody. It's actually gone up a lot, but
But it's still less than the 5,500. that
it's
it
less
was
than the
costing us.
5,500, which is when we were having them wash the uniforms and bring the mats.
Yeah, so it's still cheaper.
So
We should go up on that though to what it was because
Yeah, up to 4,
it's not going to go down.
maybe up to 5,
No, I'd
No,
say I'd
four.
say 4 max
up to 4.
because it ain't going to increase that much for the stuff that we got.
Shirts and pants and boots.
Well, plus, actually, you could probably stay there because now
we have one less person.
we have one less person.
So that we put it at 35.
Yeah, so 35 is fine. Yeah.
Okay, distribution system maintenance. We were at 81, but we put it at 80, so that's probably pretty good. Tools expenses, we had 193, but we put it at 1,200 because sometimes we need to buy a fair amount of tools. Right now, we're reimbursed a bunch of new tools because a bunch of stuff got ripped off from us, but we may have to spend money again this next year. We spent 84, so that's
And
pretty
we're
close
expecting, I mean, this year probably fuel's gonna
to
go
go up
up.
again.
Yeah, so that should be fine.
Environmental fees, 2,000, we spent 17, so again, those have gone up steadily, so, we kind of anticipated that going up a little bit. And it depends on what they charge us for each thing, each year. The testing and lab fees have gone up, so we said 9,000, we spent 78, but sometimes that's more expensive, sometimes less, so we recommended 9,000. Equipment rental, we recommended 2,500. We didn't have to rent anything this year, but we do have to rent a lot of times the pumps and stuff like that. So, and some
Didn't
other
we
stuff.
rent pumps this year?
Huh?
But that went up. Linda?
Well, some of that may have been for the distribution system.
Yeah, it might have
was
been
marked
put
for
in
the
distribution, so-
system.
We could recheck that one. But the 2,500 is still accurate.
But it should still be under whatever system
That's
it's
what I'm
under.
saying, we
It
just
should be
need to-
under
we just-
rental.
We just need
Yeah.
to
Move it.
move it over there. It's
Yeah, if we're renting pumps, that still should go under equipment, right?
yeah, Herc Reynolds, Herc Reynolds, whatever it is.
Yeah, HERC.
Yeah.
Okay. Maintenance and repair, we went up considerably on building facility maintenance because we need to do dog houses and a lot of stuff that we haven't done
In the
yet.
office. and-
Fencing, fix the office, we're supposed to be painting, redoing the carpet, so we put a hefty chunk in there.
Plus, that was part of the whole rate increase thing, so we have to start.
Any issues with that?
As long as we increase the pipe under the ground maintenance.
Well, that's different. That's
That's not
a
building
different
facility.
category.
That's what I'm saying.
But that is a rough estimate. Minimum estimate for that is $13 million. So our
Well-
our rate increase isn't gonna get that for us. So we have to get grants for that.
Well, as long as we're doing something.
Well, we constantly do something because we have water running down the road. And we have to fix it. So unfortunately, we can't.
Well, we
afford it.
really need, if you've looked at the dog houses for some of the,
Yeah, look at the one on Elm.
it's pretty bad.
Yeah, and that's just the one you can see. The one at Wolf Tank's way worse.
And we still need fencing, so, and that's not even close, I mean, fencing
Yeah,
alone is
fencing's
super
expensive,
expensive, so.
yeah.
Okay, so 100, it was 46 this year, goes up and down some. Equipment maintenance, we said 4,000 again because we have some stuff that needs to be maintained because it's getting older. We've spent more in the past. This year we didn't spend much, but we're anticipating we might need to spend a lot more.
Yeah, it comes like anything with your car. Sometimes you know, you get through a year without a new training.
Vehicle maintenance, the same thing. We have relatively new vehicles, so we said 2,500, but that's for things like tires and all the stuff on the Polarises and et cetera, et cetera. So moving on, wages. So admin wages came to 47. We anticipated 49 in case we do the cost of living raise. So that should pretty much cover that. Operations managerial, we put 77, it was 72. Operations other staff 130, we put 140 is what we
No,
And that, well, the other
We put
staff includes all the
right,
field
but
workers.
we lost
we lost
one
them
Danny's
person.
gone, so
Right. And
Yeah.
we're not replacing that person currently.
At this point, yeah.
So that should go down. Am I going, is everybody okay so far?
man.
Terry?
Yeah.
Director Kelly, Director Gibson, okay. Payroll tax expense, 21, that's kind of a wash. Payroll tax expense state, same thing, we said 3,000, we only paid 24, for the state, because I think again, we have an employee down. I don't know, that could probably be adjusted, but I don't know if we should leave it just as a.
Well,
Then we should just leave
we
it.
just never know if they're gonna raise it.
Right, so, mileage reimbursement, we said 1,000, we spent 1,100, so that's pretty close. So we do need, Linda, you're gonna look up the equipment rental.
Correct. I already noted that.
Okay, so, payroll, so check processing, 3,200, 3,000, that's pretty much a wash. Although it's a little bit more expensive, but again, all of these should be down a little bit because we have one less employee.
Except for the payroll clock,
Yeah, that would remain the same.
that's gonna,
So clock and software might be wrong because it was 16. When we looked at it, it was only,
that's, it was 14, 13, and then 16 this last year, so it's weird that it goes up and down, but
yeah, when we looked at it, it was only 1,000.
Now, what was it, what is that based on?
that's renting the time clock.
There's a monthly fee for the time clock.
Why did it go up so much?
It went up, it didn't go up that much.
Well, it did. I mean,
Yeah.
we paid a big chunk. Just the difference. The year to date was 1,075 when we looked at it a month ago, and now it's 1,006.
And another
So
$600 on top
almost
of it.
$600.
That's kind of weird, because that's not even like the payroll check processing, that's just the payroll clock and software, so.
There were some things that when I was reviewing, cause you know, going through the process of reviewing things for the auditor, that I noticed that there was, one of those clock rooms was in the wrong category, so I fixed it. So
Oh,
that's
okay.
probably it.
So
And what category was it in?
I believe it was under check processing.
So you're saying check processing was less and payroll clock went up?
So,
Well, then shouldn't payroll gone down?
yeah.
well, if
Check
you-
processing go down 600 if you put 600 into the other one?
Well, what was it when we looked at payroll check processing, when we looked at it a month ago?
It was 3,024. It
It was
was
about a $200 difference.
200 difference, but not 600 difference. So I don't know.
Well, we should raise it to 16 then.
Okay, so
I recommend.
But when you do look at it, if there is an increase, let me know on Monday and I'll call them and find out what's going on with it.
Okay, I'll make a note on that.
So is everyone okay with changing the payroll clock to, we had it at 1,100, changing it to 1,600?
That's good.
Well, yeah, because it's at 1605, so you think it's gonna continue to go up?
No, I think if it continues
shouldn't,
going up, I'm
something's
gonna start
wrong.
yelling at them. So, here.
I recommend that you change the payroll check processing to 3,300.
Yeah, cause that's 32.
Yeah, we probably should do 33
Why? It should have gone.
because it was
should go-
32.91.
But it should go down because we lost an employee.
It has nothing to do with number of employees.
The thing just has to do with the actual processing of the checks and the bookkeeping and all that stuff that they do.
Oh, it goes, so is it reduced by having one less employee?
I don't
If
believe.
it is, it would be minuscule, like $2 or $3 a month.
I think it's just the services that they got. And part of that may have gone up because this year I actually found a bunch of mistakes that happened when they were set up, and each time you call, I think it varies a little bit. They had birthdays wrong and a bunch of stuff wrong from when they did the initial setup.
Okay, so you're saying 3,300?
Yeah.
Okay, everybody okay with that?
Mhm.
So every time you call them, we're charged a fee?
Well, I'm not sure if we are or not. I would doubt it, but it's the whole check processing thing. Say I do a special payroll because somebody needs to cash out their vacation or something. That's like $35 or something to do the extra payroll. So I think that's part of it. But it's been consistent around 3,000.
Right.
It was actually more back in 14, 15. Just fluctuates a little bit. I think 33 is fair.
Okay, so we're changing that to 3,300, the next one to 1,600,
Yeah.
and then on the ADP retirement plan, we suggested 2,400, and it
That's
was
for administering the
22.
401k?
Yeah.
Is that what that is? Okay.
Yeah.
So that's probably fine. Okay, employee hiring expenses, we put in $300, we didn't have anything, but should we hire or should we just want to be able to cover it because that's for like drug testing or having to send somebody
The
down.
physical. yeah.
Physical.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, dental insurance, 7,500, it was 7,400, so hopefully that should
That
cover
should
it
go-
if it
that
doesn't
should-
go
yeah,
up
well, it
much.
should go down unless they're raising prices because we got one
We
less.
haven't gotten notice on either the dental or the vision yet.
Right, but all of these should be
We have one less
relatively
employee.
okay.
But
because-
dental is a small one anyway.
Right,
So it's
I
not
know.
going to be that big a difference. So the
Right.
dental is a small fee compared to the other ones.
So medical, we went down because we figured we had one less employee.
Plus because it was, well, like we only spent 124, 276. So
And we got the new rates, and so I took the new rates for what the new rates are for each of the employees. And there are 6 employees, those rates, and multiply it by 12, and that's how I got the 117,000.
Okay.
We had it 120 when the
Cool.
ad hoc looked at it.
perfect.
So the other ones remained the same except for the work comp insurance. We had it at 11,500. It cost us 12,384.61. Why did you place it at 14,000?
Because of the new workers' comp, which you saw today, took that 1160 times 12, and that's how I came up with that.
Yeah, and they're weird because in the 15-16 we had 16.6.
So how is that fee determined?
They base it on the payroll that you had the year that they're doing the audit on, so it's like the previous year. So if you had more payroll, you owe more workers' comp. But if before that year started, you said you anticipated having set amount of employees, but then when you do the audit at the end of the year and you actually had a larger payroll, they go back and you have to pay additional premium.
Is it
And
also-
it adjusts
But
your
do they
premium for the
adjust
new
it
year.
So
down
do they
if you
adjust
have
it
less?
down?
Yes.
Yeah, they do.
Okay.
Is it also affected if there's been any claims?
Yes.
or anything?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
That's another thing.
So if
Okay.
we have claims against it, it goes up.
Okay.
So so are we all okay with the 14
Yeah.
instead of what we initially put, which was 11,500? These people keep calling me. Sorry. So I'll let it go to. Okay. Advertising. So we put 300. We didn't have an expense this year, but we generally have some sort of expense. So we kept it kind of low, even though it's been higher in previous years. But we were also paying out to 2 different papers, and I don't think we're doing that anymore.
No.
So bad debt expense, we have it 0 because we don't really know what that number is normally.
And what is that from? Is that from people that didn't pay
That's
their
the
bills?
write-off, yeah.
Where you're
That's what the
writing off-
auditors suggested.
Right.
Do we want to put an amount? We had 2,579 in there. That's a new number because in the past we didn't have anything in there.
Tiffany, isn't that the figure you're doing now every 6 months?
Yeah, the figure I just read off for the delinquent accounts, what happens is we take all those delinquent accounts over to RVS and we write those accounts over to bad debt.
If they're not paid.
No, when I submit it, so I go through the whole list and anybody who's 6 months or more gets added to the delinquent list. And if you're on the delinquent list, we go into RVS, zero out your account, and then move it over to bad debt.
And then is it adjusted as money rolls in from the taxes?
They don't really differentiate.
They don't know.
They don't tell
No, but
us who it is that
the
is
auditor
paying.
said that you can't, it's kind of like a double jeopardy if you keep it in the computer, but you've written it as a bad debt to be collected by the county.
Then you're collecting twice.
So you're supposed to, and it helps us with the bookkeeping at the front desk.
So it's
keeping
gonna come
things-
back to the income side once it comes in.
Yeah.
Eventually.
But you've already written it, you wrote it off, and
Yeah.
then you gain it back when
Whenever
it
they-
come, whenever
When
it comes
actually
in.
comes in.
Yeah.
But
Well,
they
then-
do tell you that they'll send you checks periodically as people pay, and they'll tell you this is toward the delinquent accounts. You just don't know which account to apply it to.
So then
we're
it
able to
shouldn't,
build the category back up eventually.
but it shouldn't be 0 if that's the case, and it
Yeah.
should be an
It's, see that
expense.
money on the first page, 42623? That's where that money is coming into. When we get a check, it goes into that account.
4263.
Yeah, on
Oh, on the
page 1.
delinquent assessments.
KC. Yeah.
Correct.
Okay, and you put down 900.
Well,
You
because
never
that's how
know
much
what
we
you're
got.
gonna get. It's kind of as it rolls in. So I think we should change that to 2,500.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Because
But I like doing it like this because there's times that, you know, I wondered if somebody did pay their taxes, it's not out of the computer. So how do you know that they're not paying twice for that? And that's why the auditor thinks we should take it out of the computer and write it as bad debt when we submit it to the county. Because they don't let us track it. Tiffany's
Right.
tried and we can't track it.
So is everyone okay with fixing that at 2,500?
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, let me understand this. So you have an account, it's delinquent for 6 months. You remove it from their account and you put it in the delinquent. And then when the money comes in, if it's coming in, it's just you just never know. Now, but then this account's not gonna still be open, right? Because you've shut
It's
it.
not gonna show on the computer as a bad debt at that point. If me, you, and Lisa don't pay our taxes, you pay yours, me and Lisa don't pay ours, it comes in, your
Right.
money comes in, but it doesn't say it came in on your account.
Right.
It just says that it came in and we have to assume it came in under one of the 3 accounts. But times that by a bunch, however many she does, that's why we gotta take it out of the computer. You pay,
Right.
Lisa doesn't, or no, if you
So
pay.
how do I know my account? How do we know that person's account is up to date?
That's why we write it off. That's why it's done in the computer when she
It's taken
submits it.
out.
And we
Just
do
take it
that-
out.
Assume it's gonna be up to date.
Right.
And
Which
Tiffany
every-
does it every 6 months.
Which every business has to do their bad debt.
Right.
You know.
So basically, but they would be shut off if they weren't paying, right?
Yeah, but see, most of the bad debt they are shut off.
Right.
They're shut off, but it's still showing that they owe a balance of say $500.
Right.
Eventually, we get that $500, but the county would send us a check for $500. We
Right.
wouldn't know it came out of that account. So then the next
Right.
guy that buys the property pays another $500
Oh.
on the same tax money that's already been collected.
Or not collected.
Or not collected, so that's why he recommended, you gotta write it off as bad debt.
Okay.
Okay, bank fees, $200. We paid at 167. That's the various fees. So I don't know. That's
I don't
fine.
understand that
Close.
one. Why we even have fees?
We have some fees that
Everybody has fees in their
come up no
banking.
matter what, even though they've waived some of our fees.
You know,
don't.
if somebody writes a bad check,
Nope.
Well, we got like 10 accounts and $20, so I would imagine there's gonna be some fees for that.
We get audit fees.
There's
on-
audit fees.
fees.
There's all kinds of little dumb things that we still have to pay.
Okay.
They're not huge. We don't pay like a fee on each account or anything like that. Unless when they're auditing it, we do. Okay, director's fees.
well, that's optimistic.
Yeah, so we have been usually doing the 2 meetings, but not every time right now. So we put that at 8,000 instead.
Well,
of
what
That's
that
kinda mis-
doesn't account for those meetings. What that accounts for is ad hoc committees, and you're definitely doing $6,000
It-
for the regular meeting
and it
once a
doesn't
month.
count for some of those because they're not always paid.
Right,
They're
but what
paid
I'm
for,
saying
like
is
this
you're,
one's not
yeah,
paid
but
for.
you have the ad hoc committees that have been
Right.
approved, and
Right.
those are the different fees that go under there.
Okay, so dues.
Dues, sorry, I'm losing steam. 7,000. They've gone up, so we just put them up.
What's
we paid
dues?
65. All kinds of
ACWA, Cal Real Water,
all the water
Environmental.
associations
Okay.
and stuff.
American
Gotcha.
Waterworks Association.
Okay.
Okay,
All the things that we belong to.
Yeah.
correct.
Okay.
Education and training, 5,000. It was 36. We're doing a lot more training though because we've been sending Tiffany. We've sent Cassandra to a few things. We've various.
We like smart people. working
Yeah,
for us.
so we figured that's good. A trained staff is a good thing.
That's good.
So property insurance 4,200. It was 4,000. We thought it might go up slightly. Equipment and liability insurance, same thing. it's like about 500 more, but we're kind of covering it going up. Director's bond policy should stay exactly the same as it was last year.
Cool.
So interest, USDA, this should be going down ever so slightly as we go. So we put it down, and I think Linda also kind of calculated it. So 14. So those should be accurate or reasonably accurate on all 3 of those. Those are our loan expenses. So that's the one that we, Director Nyman and I just put money in for. Licenses, fees, and permits, those have gone up again, so we put in 10. The reason it was 26,000 that one year was that we paid for the forestry stuff, some of the environmental stuff like that, so every once in a while it goes way up, but hopefully right now it's not. Meeting expenses, that's just kind of dumb stuff, like if we have to buy food for like a community meeting. So we only paid $50 this year, but in the past it's kind of gone up and down depending on what kind of meetings we have to buy something for. So we left that at 200. Merchant card 56. So that's the fees for using the
Now that's where we need to also figure in the scanner fee, right?
yeah. So
Are we
we're
gonna do it under that category or put it somewhere
not
else?
really. We probably should put it under.
Well, I don't know, that might go under bank fees, it depends
That's
on
what I
how
was
they,
saying. I was
if they
thinking
take
bank
it from
fees.
if the monthly fee, they'll probably take it automatically from our checking account and call it a bank fee.
Yeah, so we need to go back
So
up.
if that's true, we need to back up because we're going to be paying the $650 out of that. So we're going to be paying $650 plus 6 months of $30, plus whatever we normally pay in fees of like $170. So
I recommend you make it $1,200 on bank fees instead of $200.
I think that's too much.
Where's what
I
account
would
is that?
I would say 1,000. So it's 51010. Bless
It's an extra $200 just for the $30 a month for 6 months.
plus 650, but that's only a one-time fee.
Plus, but it's still in this budget.
Yes,
Plus
plus the
650,
plus
plus
the
say
167 or so.
167,
So about
1,009,
1,000.
so maybe put 1,100 or 1,050.
I'm good with 1,100.
Which
You
one are we
guys good
changing?
with 1,100?
Bank fees.
Bank
Five
fees.
one
610
zero or 61010 from 200 to 1,100 because we're including this year only the expense for the scanner.
Right.
And the
Then next year
$30.
it should go down.
It should go down.
Okay.
Anybody
so-
have a problem with that?
Nope.
Okay, so back to merchant card fees, 5,700. But we had 5,000. I'm not sure why we put 5,700. Why did we put 5,700?
Well, more and more people are using the either online payment or the credit card payment.
Okay.
So
I'd say
Is that why we did
55.
it? 55.
Yeah, that's probably closer.
55?
Everybody
Yeah.
okay with that?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. Office expense, we put 10,000. It was $999. That's kind of for all kinds of stuff, including toilet paper and everything. Oh no, that's
good. No, 'cause we have
supplies.
office supplies
So
in
what
there.
is expense again?
expense are the non-consumable things we need to buy. You know,
Staples and
That's-
paper clips.
staplers.
Ink and stuff like that?
Paper.
Well, ink is consumable.
No, paper would be a supply.
Oh, yeah, that's consumable
Paper is
too.
consumable.
Copy machine.
Copy machine.
So it
Yeah.
really shouldn't be that high.
Well, it was 99.29 and 98.10 and 97.57, so it is that high.
So are we putting toner? What else are we putting in that
We
category?
don't even buy toner anymore. That's part of the
The part of the copy machine.
rental
So
contract.
what is that we're spending $10,000 on if it's
It's
not?
not consumables.
Because consumables would be light bulb. I mean, most of the stuff should be in consumables. Toilet paper, light bulbs, cleaning stuff.
Unless it's like new file
Paper.
cabinets.
I think it is
Things like that.
consumables too, because when I itemize them, when I do like, say, Costco for toilet paper and stuff, I write office.
So that it's something's wrong here. So we need to look at those because that
Well, that's not wrong. It's just that's where
No,
it's
but
going. And I still agree that I still think that should go. Well, no office supplies.
Well, yeah,
I
because
just
then
write
office
office.
supplies is down, so
Yeah.
Well, what toilet paper, it's not really an office supply.
So it's only for the office.
So that's probably office expense. So office supplies is your paper, your staples, things like that.
and I don't know. Can we just? I mean, I think we can leave it as is, but
Yeah.
I'd really like us to revisit that category and just do a little audit of it and
we
see
just
what
need to
we're
break it
putting
down
where. Yeah.
on how you want
Exactly.
it categorized is all.
yeah, just find out what's going in there.
Postage was 7,000. That's probably gonna be. We spent more than that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we spent more than that, and like this year, it was $800 for postage and
so we probably need to go
$600
up
for
on
the
that.
CCR being done. That worked out to 40 cents a piece to have them printed and folded and collated and labeled. So it should be.
But printing should be under a different
Well,
category. But
well.
this is just postage.
Just the
and FedEx.
postage.
But I still think we better go up on it. So I think we better go to
That
at least.
includes the stamps and the post office box fee, the permit.
We do a little more stamps now that we have to do monthly
Yeah,
mailings.
I'd go 8.
That's why it's up, and you got it down lower.
Yeah, I'd go 8.
Is everybody okay with 8,000?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, printing.
That
We
should be
went
fine.
up because we are doing more printing stuff. I don't know why it was only $25, but we went up to
Yeah,
$750.
that should be good.
Wow, that was way low.
Yeah. I don't know. What
Well,
else so
probably
low?
part of that was trying to utilize the whole crew and shutting down all business operations and have people sitting in here in the it should be in the field, in the office, trying to do folding and stuff. I decided that was not a good proposition. Can't take a $20 an hour employee and have them sit here doing folding papers for 3 days.
Well, in 16-17, it was almost 800.
Wow.
That was probably some of the Lake of the Woods stuff.
It was.
Well, Lake of the Woods should have reimbursed.
But it would still come under here.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's still coming up.
So anyway, so that
Okay.
that works. $750 for me sounds good.
Okay, so auditor 18, we spent a little bit more, and the reason why it was 29 the previous year are the grants that we had to pay more for, and we also had them come and do a special audit. So hopefully 18,000 will do it. Bookkeeper should be pretty much the same, 12,100.
No clerk of the board services.
Yeah, hold on one second.
Why is that?
Because she's on staff
Because she's
now.
on staff
Oh.
now.
Okay.
Okay, so I don't know why it was 20. Okay, so okay, yeah. So clerk of board's correct. Legal fees 8,000. We the previous year, so
I still like to have the availability of it.
yeah, we're kind of
Amen.
keeping it in the middle somewhere.
Yeah.
Property taxes 80, that looks pretty matching. Publications 300, we thought that we may be spending a little bit more money on purchasing some publications and stuff, so we just gave it a little bit of leeway there.
This is where I had a question for you, Linda. We put in paying every month for our security.
Be there.
Shouldn't that be in that category? And you're not showing any for last year, and I know we had it all
We
last
definitely
year,
had-
or at least over half the year.
Yeah, we definitely had that
I'm
spend.
wondering if that's part of one of the,
In the office?
it could be part of the office expense. I can double check on that.
But that shouldn't be
You need to
office
fix
expense,
that,
that
yeah.
should be in security.
Yeah,
We need to change that,
Okay.
however that is for our security, yeah.
okay.
Okay, so again, answering service. Sorry, give me just 1 second. Okay, here we go. Okay, so we put it up a little bit because we're not sure if we're gonna need to do some additional something or other for that, because we're not all that thrilled with what we have right now, but anyway, we left it. It's fluctuated between 3,000 and it's fluctuated, so we left it at 2,500.
Because it depends on how many calls you get.
Yeah.
Oh, really? It's not a per month.
No,
No.
it's not a per
It's a
month.
per call.
Basically, yeah, and like this last year, we didn't have a bunch of freezes and stuff. Usually, there'll be 6-8 weeks every winter when we're non-stop getting calls for frozen pipes and everything, so then it goes up. And then but we don't have one last line.
Right, we have actually one additional
Well,
one.
now that SIM card that was in Danny's phone is now in the auto dialer, and I had a $25 a month data plan to that SIM card, so
Right, so we raised it to 3,000
So it's
to
gonna-
just cover
it's
ourselves.
gonna come out in the wash there. So
So iPad, we're not doing. We don't have a charge for that right now. Internet, that charge went away. We do have the Office computer 99. Might be give or take some. Office landline went up. So again, we might need to look at that, but right now
it went up
it's a
kind of
30
substantially.
substantially, yeah.
And,
Yeah, they're trying to get,
AT&T, huh?
they're
Oh,
trying to
yeah.
get,
Oh,
they're
yeah.
trying to get rid of everybody.
They want everybody on
Off the
They want
landlines.
everyone
Yeah.
on cell phones and
Yeah,
and,
they
they're- and so they keep
Uverse.
or Uverse, yeah.
They want
that's what they're
Uverse.
trying to do. They're trying to
They
price
did
us
it
out
to
of
me,
it.
so I
So
gave
they're-
on lodging. We did 1,500 because we had a little bit extra travel with the other education stuff we're doing. Mileage was a little bit more too, so we put it up to 800. Meals again a little more expensive because we're sending more people to more places, so we put it to 5. Going on the airlines. And car rental, we put it to 800 because when you do the airline, we had to have car rentals. Parking, we left at 50 because we really haven't paid a whole lot for parking. and travel, taxi, shuttle, etc. We left at 50 because we haven't had much for that.
Just
Actually, we might wanna put that up, cause,
yeah.
I think we had about 150 total with Uber.
Well, yeah, what happened was,
Yeah, so we can drop car rental, and I won't be using a rental in October either.
I would still leave it on there because we don't know if we're gonna
Okay.
use it, but Cassandra, when we tried to set it up prior to her going, she doesn't have a credit card, obviously.
Right,
She got back there, they wouldn't rent her a car
right.
because she didn't have a specific kind of debit card, even though we were trying to pay with our company card, so she ended up having to Uber back there, which still didn't cost that much, but
No, it's much cheaper than a rental.
yeah, it is cheaper,
It
but
was cheaper?
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but she didn't go that many places either though, so,
Why don't we put that up to 200?
alright.
Okay.
You guys good with that?
Sure.
With the taxi and shuttle?
Taxi, shuttle.
Yeah,
And then we instead of electricity 3,000, which is pretty close. It also goes up and down, but we did get it down a lot for the office, but who knows? But we left it kind of a wash.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, you know, with LED lighting and everything, and we're
Yeah, it
trying
should
to
be
be
down a
more
little.
aware, we're trying to do good, but I think the 3,000 is probably about where it's
Gas went down a little just because it probably wasn't as cold last year, but
Yeah.
we left it at 600 just in case. Trash is about the same. It was about a wash at 7. So then, if we go, everything else was at 0 until we get to the USDA, and that's all stuff that should be exacting because that should be what Linda figured.
So the only thing that will change on this section is the transfer funds to emergency reserve fund, and that will change by the changes we've made tonight. It'll either go up or go down.
So you had it up because we actually were above what we anticipated, but it'll go
Right.
down or up.
Yeah, cause I want, the bottom, it should equal 0, so
Right.
use that to make it equal 0.
Which
Okay.
which I'm good with because we need to keep moving money over to that emergency fund.
well, we'll continue to do that,
Right.
but, the only question I have, Linda, is now, she's made, we have certain monies going to different reserve accounts. We're gonna need, how far did you have those put in for?
Those are done through October. Then October we get new figures, and then they start new in November.
Okay, so in October, you'll give me the figures and then we'll put in the,
The ones that are effective November.
okay, cool.
Okay.
And we actually moved money out, just so you know. I forgot to say that under Linda's other report, but we could say it here just since we're in budget. We went ahead and moved the principal and interest for October early into the USDA payment. It all goes in tomorrow. So that money's still in the bank, but it got transferred into if you
account.
look at the accounts, that should show up under USDA.
So for once, we
It's
didn't
all-
have to take from a reserve account to pay our interest and,
Nice.
Yeah, and it's all 3, and we're able to take
We
it out
have
of
to borrow
revenue
from-
operating and still have money left.
yeah, so that's a good
We
thing.
did well this time. So the Prop 218 is definitely helping because we didn't have to borrow money from one of our other accounts.
It's
So,
the first time that I'm aware of, that
Yeah,
we haven't
that
had to
we-
borrow to make that payment.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's good.
So if everybody's okay with that, I would like to move that we adopt the proposed budget with the amendments that we made.
Nice.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, 401.
Good job, people.
So for the next meeting,
Thanks,
I'll
ad
give you-
hoc.
For the next meeting, I'll give you the final with these figures.
And you should check it against what we wrote tonight just to make sure things are okay. And you're going to correct anything that's weird on the
Right.
Thank you.
categories.
Thank you for your hard work.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Okay, moving on. Unfinished business. Discussion and vote on changes and options for district banking.
Okay, so an update, and I talked to Johnny a little bit about this. I think we're at the point personally, the Primerica will not do government public funds. We cannot go with online, we cannot go with credit unions. So we're down to our only option being branch locations, for example, bank branches. They're not gonna give me quotes over the phone. I don't know why, because I thought that would just be a public, hey, what's it, rates? They won't give me any information. They'll mail pamphlets. I got one from Bank of America, but I haven't received any of the others I asked for. But I think this now may be better suited in the hands of like an ad hoc who can either sit at the phone and call the bank and ask all the questions, or going to a branch. And the only other thing I wanted you to be aware of is if we move accounts to a branch, we have to bring a resolution, we have to bring minutes, signed minutes, and you have to physically bring in every account signer. So if you're having 4 signers on those CD accounts, they all have to be there in person.
It's possibly going to be a really big headache, and I think they're going to charge fees.
It's gonna be hard to do.
Which is going to be any more than we're getting off the nothing we're getting off of California Bank and Trust.
And it's a good idea in theory, but it's not working out for us because of who we are. The online banking doesn't want to work with us, so.
Well, my only thing is if something major happens.
You know, but it's like I keep on saying, if we have to go to another bank, if something happens, our bank withstood the storm far better than all the rest of them that were out there. So you're kind of a wash, you know. I mean, everybody else needed bailouts, and so we were okay in that regard. So I don't know how to protect ourselves. If you can't
I don't know what else to say, because the community will hang us if we lose all our money.
But theoretically, we're covered for that money, although who knows?
All I'm saying is that if we move it to another bank, it's the same thing. If you lose money at that bank, they're going to be mad at you.
Right. But the thing about it is that but they're not giving us anything in writing.
Well,
I mean,
you asked for them?
Yeah, actually, they did one time.
Yeah, if you want to, you
comes
should go and get
under we should probably go talk to Sherry again, but it comes or have her present on that, which I thought we were going to do tonight, and I forgot.
And if we pulled some of our money out of there, would they hit us with another fee?
Yeah, they probably will.
So
Yeah.
it's like,
Well, at what
but I do
point
understand your point.
would they hit us
I
with
do.
another fee?
I don't know, so that would have
Well,
to
for
be,
one thing, if you have $1 million in the bank, they're going to work more with not charging you fees, as opposed to where if now you're just one of the other accounts they got and you're not the big noteworthy one, they might charge us more fees that are the regular
That's
fees.
why I was surprised on the proposal that we were paying bank fees because of what we do have in the bank.
But I think that
we
we could
pay
be paying a lot more
very
somewhere
few.
else.
So I mean, the one
Well, the
thing.
question would be what fees they charge us, and that's actually, if it's a safety thing, that's like insurance, like paying for insurance.
So basically, what the main gist of it is Tiffany spent exorbitant amount of time the last several months trying to find this stuff. It's not panning out the way we wanted it to. So she's just saying that if the ad hoc wants to go and try to rattle some cages on your own and go down there and do that, then that's more beneficial, because banks don't want to talk to people that aren't signers. Banks don't want to talk to people that aren't the important people that actually put their name on the check. They want to talk to guys that are the actual board members.
So at this point, I think the only thing that this would possibly work for if we did it would be the couple of accounts like our emergency reserve that we're not supposed to touch, or very rarely maybe, because if we have an emergency and we put it in a long-term CD, we may not be able to get to it. So that could be a problem.
You can get to it just with penalties.
Yeah, with penalties. It might make more sense just for the couple of accounts that we have for the USDA. I mean, that we could do and put them in a CD so that we could get some money, because we don't have anything in a CD right now. So if we wanted, we could either try to put them in a CD so that they would make money at the bank we're at, or if we wanted to try to pull a little bit out and just have at least the USDA covered, I suppose we could put those reserve funds in a couple of CDs that were long-term CDs that would make money, because we're supposed to hold on to those long-term anyway.
And I've never dealt with the CD, but if you put money in the CD, even like at this that gives it added protection, correct?
No, you only have that
The CD?
FDIC for your one bank. So,
Well, I mean, but the CDs are safer, aren't they?
no,
than regular
no,
savings account?
it's the same because it's all covered the same way. So if you have $1 million in the bank, you're only really covered for theoretically 250,000. So, I mean, I don't think it would change anything because we're covered under that whole governmental. I forget what it's called, but they're supposed to be able to prove that they can pay out their their
and
governmental.
that's what she was telling us when she
right.
came in, but it's very convoluted.
But as far
answer.
as us making, I mean, our whole thing on this, there were two reasons why we were looking into this. One was because we're not making any money off of our money, and which is not fair to the town. And then the second, but we also wanted to do it in a safe way where we didn't lose our money. So we didn't want to get in money market accounts that were crazy where we could lose our principal. And we already are in a money market account for a couple of accounts, but it makes nothing because it's a safe money market.
Now my question is, if we end up getting better interest, but it don't take much to get better interest than what we got now. I mean, $100 a year on some of the accounts would be great interest compared to what we're getting.
We're not.
So now if you move to another bank and you do something else, are the fees going to eat up the additional interest that you're going to gain from that?
And
That's
plus
the
getting
concern.
the deposits to and from the bank.
Yeah. So if you do want to do something in another bank, you
would do a CD
ad hoc
because
would
that
have to go
doesn't
down and
have-
do that.
Yeah, I mean, if we were going to do that, we would do a one-time withdrawal of our amounts. We would have to do a resolution saying that we were going to, put that money in the bank. It would have to be a CD, which doesn't, doesn't cost us anything unless we take out of it. And then some CDs will it depends on if it's most of them are not liquid. I mean, it's a fixed amount of time. So
Maybe one of you guys need to go to Sherry and actually see if you get it in writing to where you feel more comfortable with that, because it was way outside of my league of experience when she was explaining.
But even in writing, it's like if what Director Nyman's point is if the bank goes upside down, it doesn't matter what we have in writing.
Well, I get that, but you also got to figure out what's the likelihood of it going down.
It's hard to know.
On the CDs you mentioned, taking one lump sum, I would recommend that you divide that into 4 and do it for doing a minimum 4.
1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, yeah.
Well,
or whatever.
so you do it, so you do you buy one at the beginning of one quarter, have it for 1 year. Buy another one in the second quarter, have it for 1 year. Another one for the third quarter, have it for 1 year. So, and etc. So if there's an emergency, at least within 3 months.
But some of these
so.
we can't take out if there's an emergency. So I'm suggesting we not even do that. I'm suggesting we only do it with the accounts that we can't touch. Those accounts stay in a reserve in case we go bankrupt. If we go bankrupt, we would remove the CDs with a penalty to try to pay off the USDA. So that way, hopefully, we could put it in a longer term CD, not too long, because if rates are going up again,
right.
We don't want to lock ourselves into a lousy rate, but we put in probably an 18-month or a couple year or whatever pays the most right now, and not touch it.
Yeah.
And we wouldn't need a checking account on that or anything. If for some reason we needed to remove it, we would go at the end of the period, remove it with a resolution. We'd have to write. It's just more work for us because of the bank cards and the resolutions, but we'd have to write something at that point and remove it and put it back in or do whatever it is that we need to do with it. But if we do it with the where's our do you have a copy of our financials? I don't know if I have.
And then, as far as signers go, we would only need 2 for a CD. Not all 5 of us would have to be on that CD.
Yeah, because
right?
we could do it as a check. Well, no, we'd have to have all 5 of us on it because it's a USDA reserve account.
And it's a lot of money, so.
And it's a lot of money. So, right now, the ones that I would propose that we, the loan one, which we don't touch, is at $71,000. I mean, it's not that much, but it's at $71,823. So that could go in a CD because we're not supposed to touch that at all. The loan 2 is at $50,000. Again, we're not supposed to really touch that, but there's money going.
We're adding money to that.
We
all
are
the
adding
time.
money to it.
It would be the general fund, I would think, would be one of them.
General fund we borrow from. Yeah, we could do it from the general fund, I suppose. That's 219,000 and just not touch it. General fund we could definitely do. Right now it's a checking account and we do borrow off of it periodically, but I guess we would have to figure out another.
Or are we gonna
But
borrow
we
the
don't
money
need to
from the
put
dump
all
truck
of
out
it
that?
in the CT, put it, you know,
200.
200, 150, something like that.
We just have to make it so that it's easy for the auditor to follow and easy for directors that come after us to know what the heck's going on. So I guess those two things would be the contingency account and the general account, because those we don't touch generally unless we're borrowing from it for a big expense that we can't cover.
Where were we borrowing the money from, taking the money from for the,
We did some from the general fund, and I think once we did from the contingency fund.
No, when he's saying that I'm gonna spend $70-something thousand on a dump truck, so, whereas I just haven't done it because of the 2 deaths in my family, but
Right, but right now we're at 309 from the revenue operating,
So
so
we're good
I would
then.
think we could take it from the revenue
no,
operating.
you can't, you're at 209, cause I just moved $100,000 for the October
we're still,
payment.
still
We
good
can
there
still
though,
take
so,
it.
good,
Yeah.
alright.
So, yeah, okay, well, so we can't form an ad hoc because we don't have enough directors, so
That's true.
let's
Okay,
wait till,
carry it
we need to
over to the-
carry it over to the
Okay.
next agenda.
Okay,
Thank you.
sounds good.
Do we need to take a recess? No.
No,
Okay.
Well, but this is the last item on the thing. You guys care if I turn the rubber out of here? I don't really want to sit here and discuss what you're gonna do for my
Well,
month memorial.
we actually had a question for you though.
Oh, okay, then I'll stay.
Okay,
Because-
10, vote, discussion on a way to pay our respects at the memorial service for general manager's recent loss,
So
recent losses.
normally we do flowers, but there, it was brought to my attention that there was some like financial issue with something. Is that resolved?
Well, I mean, hopefully it's gonna be resolved. I don't know.
I guess I'm just saying, do you want us to spend money on flowers or the stuff we normally would do, or is it something that you might need?
I think right now, currently,
but not want
the money
flowers.
might be more helpful. Just, and then if it turns out that things work out better, then I would just go ahead and buy the flowers with the money.
When is the service gonna be?
Well, I'm scheduled for the 11th, but I still haven't managed to get the check from the insurance to pay for the funeral. They keep on. I spent half the day arguing and talking
Usually
to
the
supervisors.
mortuary does all of that.
The Neptune Society dealt directly with them and was kind enough to, even before they got paid, let me bring my mom home. But Terry will not do that. They will not help out in the slightest.
They want payment up front.
Holy Cross Cemetery in Pomona will not deal with the insurance. They want their money up front. And to bury her with her little sister, that passed away at 13 years old in 1978, which is what she wanted. They want $3,500 to put the cremains in that grave, but it's only $1,600 if we put her by herself across the street.
Yeah.
But so I called the funeral bureau, not to bend your ear today, because Neptune Society thought that was illegal. He said it's not illegal, that it's totally within their right, and that it costs more to bury cremains with a casket already there than it does any other way. And if the casket that's in the ground already is under a tree or someplace nice, it costs more money. If it's in the shady section as opposed to the sunny, whatever it is, it's like real estate. I said, I thought we
It is
owned.
like real
I said, I
estate.
thought we owned this property because my grandma bought it in 1978. He says, yeah, that's the common misconception. You do not own that plot. You own the right to be buried in that plot. But the ground and that plot still stays the property of the cemetery, which was news to me because I know you could buy and sell that stuff,
Yeah, you can.
but you don't own the land. You just own the right to be buried there. So anyway, so it's been
The
complicated.
right to reserve that plot.
And the biggest thing is the 2 back-to-backs, is being difficult. But it's, I think we did $100 for everybody's funeral, so.
I can't say on record what I was gonna say, so I won't.
I've said plenty on record today, don't worry about it.
So,
Very angry with them.
do we, what I would like to move is that I don't remember what our normal amount is for, do you remember what our normal amount that we've been paying for flowers is?
It's around
or-
$100.
I think so, that sounds about
So
right.
I'd like to move that we take whatever amount we would normally have purchased flowers with and go ahead and give that to the Allison family to either purchase flowers or if they need help with anything
With the
else with the burial to use it for that instead.
I'll second that.
And before we do it, how would it be if I literally just use the credit card for one or the other? So you would actually get a receipt either from the cemetery or from a flower place,
That would be fine.
and then that way there's perfect tracking of it and everything, and it's just easier
That's
that
better.
way.
I think that's a really good
Because
way
I'm
to
probably
do it,
gonna end up buying flowers.
so that there isn't a conflict of interest for the community.
Yeah, and I want my family and stuff to see the flower arrangement from the FPPUD, so
Okay.
that's what I'll do if I
And
can.
if you do the flowers, then yeah, normally we put a little
Yeah,
card on it.
yeah, from your
Right.
family at FPPUD, so that would be good. I appreciate it. You guys
So
have to vote,
we
so-
have a
Friendly amendment
yeah.
that he uses his credit card.
I'm good with that. So
Okay.
the friendly amendment to that motion is that it be paid for on the credit card, so it can reflect whether flowers were purchased or something to do with the plot was purchased.
I second
For a
that.
total of
I'm okay with-
$100.
I second that. I'm okay with that amendment.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, guys.
So we have most of the future agenda stuff, right?
I think
Is
so.
there anything else that we're?
Carlos said he's coming to the regular meeting in August to talk about the meter replacement.
Then
Okay.
we
That's what-
may
Who's
want
coming?
to
The first
invite.
Bravo.
We may want to invite interested parties that normally come to the
Like Dee.
yeah, like
Like
Dee
Pam
and or
and-
Pam,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, I'll make sure she knows.
Oh, you know what we need to add to the agenda? We need to add
Add,
the
An ad hoc.
the ad hoc
Making
that
the ad hoc.
because we have a report for the Director Kelly and
Oh,
myself
yes, for the water.
have a report, so we can put it on as an actual instead of just ad hoc reports. We can put a specific.
Now, you've been going sort of under that Sigma ad hoc?
Yes.
Yeah, it's not called. Well, it's gonna.
I mean, are
It's,
you?
it's beyond Sigma now, so we
Yeah.
need to
Do you want a different name?
well, we need to be able to do that in the meeting, so under the agenda, it needs to be like a rename the ad hoc, and it needs to, and we need to be able to do a report on what's going on. But it's expanded, so that we'll report on the expansion next time.
And the creation of an ad hoc for the banking, right?
And a creation of the ad hoc for the bank, which we already have.
So it's a vote to rename the ad hoc? Would that, is it?
Yeah, because it's not really just Sigma, it's now,
Bigger.
it's expanded.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because we have a Sigma ad hoc, but that's separate. So Terry and I would still continue as the Sigma ad hoc to be able to research that, but this is a whole separate ad hoc really.
Okay.
Because it's dealing with multiple issues. This is your pen, Johnny.
Okay. Anything else? Time adjourned?
I make a motion that we adjourn
I second it.
on.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.